Hi everybody, this is the video for April the 6th. This is Next Steps coming to you today from the banks of the Haw River. This is one of my favorite little spots, about 45-minute walk from my house. It's hard to get here, so I always have it to myself. I love it. Anyway, three things in the video today. I want to touch briefly on the paper number 3 submission. I want to say a few more words about paper number 3, and then I want to look ahead to the next week or so. So number 1, submit paper number 3. Just want to remind you that the paper number 3 final draft is due by 11:55 p.m. on Monday, April the 6th. You'll submit that to Moodle, of course, through the paper number 3 assignment. You will, before you submit, please be sure to check your file type. Please make sure that you're submitting a doc, a docx, or an RTF. Please do not submit a PDF or a Pages document, as I cannot grade those, and then I have to email you to get you to send me the right thing. So before you submit, as I said, check the file type. Make sure your annotations are correct. Make sure that each of your bibliographies has all of its little pieces and parts. Everything's in the right order. It's punctuated correctly. You're not missing anything, so forth and so on. And with the annotations, just be sure to get all 7 questions for each annotation, and that is going to go a long way toward your getting a good grade on this paper. Next thing, as you are turning in paper number 3, we'll pause for a minute to mark the occasion. This is paper 3 out of 4 this semester. It's paper 1 out of 2 for the research project, so it's a big deal. And it's especially a big deal given everything that you guys have gone through over the past 2 or 3 weeks, from having to move off campus, to get situated at home, to figure out how to be a student in an online course, or actually a bunch of online courses, and figuring out how to get your work done and all of that. I know it's a big deal. It's no easy task, and so I'm glad that you're able to turn in paper number 3 and cross that off your list. It's a big deal, you guys. With paper number 3 handed in, we can now start to look ahead to the rest of the semester. For us, everything is leading up to you guys turning in the paper number 4 final draft. That is the final draft of your autoethnography on, I believe it's a Thursday, April the 23rd, and it will be due by 11:55 p.m. on April 23rd. At this point, for our class, we can return to a more normal schedule and a more normal pace. You've selected a topic, you've done some initial research, and now you have about 2.5 weeks to wrap things up, maybe do a little bit more research, generate some personal examples, and then get that paper planned, drafted, revised, and so forth. That is a very similar kind of schedule to what we've done on other papers. And so I think that, I don't know about your other classes, but at least for English 101, things should be more or less normal. So a few more words about that. One thing that you should do for sure is review the sample essays. I have a handful, I think like 10 student papers, student autoethnographies on the website. Take a look at some of those papers. See what those students did. You can think about how they set their papers up, how they organized them, their tone, how they used their personal examples, how they used the outside research, how they used the outside research and personal examples together to make their points. Take a look at that, and I think that will solve a lot of problems for you and answer a lot of questions for you. Another thing, you might recall the Bachner piece, that you didn't have to read the essay, you just had to read the notes. You might take a second look at the Bachner notes, specifically the 5 characteristics of autoethnography. You might think about those. You might think about those when you're looking at those sample papers to see how those students did it. The next thing, or I guess this would be number 3 in the what we're going to do after paper number 3 category, is that you can still conduct research. You do need to find one more source for your autoethnography, but you're welcome to find others. You're welcome to trade out sources. Just because you wrote about something in paper number 3 doesn't mean that you have to use it in paper number 4. But get some sources that correspond well to your purpose and point and to your personal experiences. That's a pretty important thing. So I don't mean to say that you have to do a lot of research, but you do have the opportunity to do some research if you want to. Another thing will be to develop some personal examples. That'll be what you're working on for our classwork on Tuesday, and that'll be the topic of a separate video. But you need to have good personal examples. That will actually comprise a good bit of the autoethnography. And basically, you want to think about personal examples and write about your personal examples before it's time to write about them in the autoethnography. Things will just go better if you do that. Lastly, you need to start to consider the purpose and point of your autoethnography. What are you trying to do in that paper? What do you want people to see or understand about your in-group experience? And, once you know that, you can start to think about, well, what points are you going to raise in order to make that happen? What kinds of examples are you going to raise to support those points? This week is about making that shift from research into planning. And so you've got to think about purpose and point. Think about what you want to achieve, what you want your paper to do, right? What you want people to understand about your in-group experience. And the last thing along with that will be our paper number 4 group conferences, which are going to take place on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of this week. I'll send around sign-up information sometime on Monday. The conferences, I put the times on our daily schedule. They're the same times we used for the group conferences for paper number 1 and paper number 2. We'll do this on Zoom. I had initially wanted you guys to submit outlines ahead of time. I've decided to nix that. We'll just talk through your plans and obviously talk through your questions and concerns, but more about that later on. In the meantime, congratulations again on submitting paper number 3. Good luck with the rest of your work for our class, and good luck with your other classes and everything else too. Take care. Bye.